dog catcher." A woman opened the rear door of a white van and called to the men, "Throw her in here." Harry Dinselbacher walked towards the town library. His steps quickened at the thought of meeting Bliss with all the shifters at Starbarks. In small ways, he was beginning to be accepted by the same dog shifters who'd once shunned him. He was no longer the man who'd been library board chairman and beta of the werewolf pack that burned the original town library and tried to burn and blow up the present one, along with the dog shifter academy in the lower levels. Every day, he worked hard to be a good dog and disown his werewolf side. Beautiful Bliss had changed his life. She'd given him books to read and was the first person ever to treat him with kindness. Now she needed him. By meditating, she could turn into an exquisite white greyhound, but was unable to return to her cute blonde human form without his help. He wasn't sure what he did that assisted her change, but was grateful he was able to repay her in some small way. Parked a block ahead in front of the library, he noticed a white van. Any patron returning books this late would use the book drop in the lot, not park on the street in the no parking zone. Curious, he moved faster toward the vehicle. He heard a cry. And a bark. Then Bliss is frightened. "Leave me alone, please." He began to run towards the van. In 4 strides, his hands touched the ground and his nails scraped for purchase. In 8 strides, 4 legs pumped toward Bliss and her attackers. A heavy-set guy held Bliss down, while a tall man tried to shove her delicate head into a muzzle. Harry snarled. The man looked up into the angry eyes of a shaggy, gray wolf. A woman's voice called from the back of the van. "Hurry, Elwood, let's get out of here." Elwood sputtered, "Wolf," just before Harry lunged and took the man's scrawny neck in his massive jaws. The man froze, afraid if he moved, the wolf's canine teeth would puncture an artery. The look in the beast's eyes left no doubt he would be happy to do just that. His partner skittered back and jumped into the van. The Greyhound cried, "Harry, please don't hurt him," from the miraculous shifter body that allowed her to talk in both her forms. Reluctantly, the wolf loosened his hold on the man's muscular neck, but kept his weight and paws firmly pressed on the man's chest until the Greyhound struggled free. Then Harry released Elwood, who raised his hands to protect himself and backed away from Harry, muttering, "Nice wolfie." "Are you all right?" Harry asked, looking at Bliss over his shoulder. Bliss stood and shook herself. "I'm fine, a little shaken. I've never been attacked before." Harry's shaggy white-tipped tail wagged, relieved he'd been close by. The woman in the van looked out. "I'll get the stun gun and get 'em both." "You do that, and your friends will be sorry," Harry growled. "It's one of them talking dogs, too," she shrieked. "I thought they'd made that up." "That is no dog, it's a wolf. Our orders are not to pick up wolves, just dogs. That skinny white doggy would have brought a pretty bounty when they found she was one of the talkers." The woman, already in the driver's seat, revved the engine. "Get in now, or I'm leaving you to the wolf." Elwood opened the door and scrambled into the passenger seat. The van was halfway down the block before he pulled in his right leg and slammed the door. Harry turned to Bliss, licked her nose, and sniffed her to be sure she was all right. She shivered, leaned against the big shaggy wolf, and let out a big sigh. "Who were those people? And why were they trying to hurt me?" "I have no idea. Their license plate was from Kentucky. Mayor Aldwin has the local dog catchers trained to identify dog shifters and be gentle with stray dogs wandering into town." They stood for a minute, letting the feeling of safety return to their bodies. When Bliss was ready, she nudged Harry's muzzle and closed her eyes. "Help me change." He stood close and slowly began his change. He let the transformation work slower than when he'd changed with his old werewolf pack. Those changes always felt rough and primitive, like an earthquake destroying perfectly good forest. He now preferred the controlled progression from wolf dog to human, letting bones and organs reform naturally. With pops and crackles, his back legs lengthened and his spine extended while his long, lush tail shortened. The toes of his front legs became fingers, and the hair on his too shaggy for a wolf body